Right when I finished editing this video, 7 new spoilers dropped. And if you put together the words shown in them, you get 2 secret messages. You can't escape impending doom, and nothing ever goes according to plan. You can also spot that the Duchess is standing right on the base. You can tell from these strange towers with blue energy. The polycephaly TV man seems to be dying, and the camera woman looks like she's about to destroy herself, judging by where the cannons are pointed. But that's just the tip of everything hidden here, so subscribe so you don't miss the full breakdown. For now, let's start today's video. Today's topic is actually about something else, but I want to start with an observation that's not obvious yet important. It's already been 2 months since episode 79, part 1. And it might be hard to believe, but by the time I'm writing this script, I've already uploaded 18 videos to my channel since then. And I do my best to read your comments when I can. That's why I feel the viewers' frustration over the long pauses between new episodes more than anyone. Of course, I'd like to think my channel and others help make the wait easier and give you more fuel while we wait for the continuation. But unfortunately, that's only partially true, because the longer we wait, the less interest viewers have, at least in breakdown and theory content. You can clearly see this from my channel's views. The further away we are from a new episode, the fewer the views. And I'm not saying this to ask for likes or support. No, it's just an obvious fact, and it makes sense. There's nothing critical about it, especially since my entire channel is directly tied to Boom's content. So why am I bringing this up? Maybe you were expecting me to say something genius or sensational that would somehow speed up the release of new episodes. But no, I just genuinely want to thank you for all the activity and support you've already been giving. Even with these long breaks, Skibidi Toilet continues to thrive and stay afloat. And that's all thanks to you and your understanding that Boom mostly works alone and is only just starting to build a team. You are the best fandom. By the way, we're about to hit 700,000, and there are only 300,000 left until 1 million. To celebrate, this year my team and I have prepared something truly huge for you. It might sound a bit bold, but this will be the most challenging project I've ever done. But that's another conversation entirely. We'll come back to it later when I have more material to share, and I might even make a separate video about it. For today, I've prepared part 2 of the breakdown of IBO's interview with Boom. Enjoy. EBO asked, what kind of development might the Duchess get soon? Judging by the spoiler and the end of episode 79, part 1, she's going to personally take part in the battle, meaning we could see her combat abilities, which we haven't fully seen yet. However, judging by her body and pure red energy, her power might even surpass Juggernaut and G-Man. It makes sense. She's the Duchess. So with her high status, she can have any weapon she wants, including reliable self-defense. Unlike the Astro soldiers, nothing should be allowed to threaten her life. On the other hand, the Duchess might also be revealed more as a character through a dialogue with someone connected to her, like G-Toilet or the UFO. The next question was, what happened to the speakermen at the end of episode 78? Boom replied, POV, literally, point of view. This could be interpreted as, you'll see it from the point of view of the cameraman in episode 78, Hugo, in the future, in extra scenes of season 26. And really, just leaving the first major and truly intriguing battle with the Speakerman Armada off-screen would be a huge missed opportunity. It was also confirmed that we'll be seeing more semi-titans in the future, which was to be expected. In just a couple of episodes, we've already seen 2 semi-titans, Speakerman Executor and Skibidi Mafia. Cameramen, TV men, and Astros are left. The first 2 will take time to develop, but thanks to the work already done on the Speakermen and Skibidi toilets plus captured samples, it won't take too long. So we could expect reinforcements in the 80s or 90s episodes, especially since both the TV men and cameramen have lost their titans, meaning they'll have to find replacements. But what about the Astros? Their army already includes unique fighters like Juggernaut, Scorpion, and Hunter, the last of which has a body similar to the Duchess and to G-Man back when he was still a commander. This means there's room in the Astro army for fighters like that, and we could see either a new one or an upgraded existing one, just like with the Duchess, who arrived without a body but later got one. It's possible Juggernaut or Scorpion will get one for the purpose of finally completing their mission, to eliminate the traitors, meaning G-Toilet. I wonder if we'll end up seeing only one semi-Titan per faction, just like it was with the Titans. You can draw a clear line between them because, according to Boom's answer, Titans are the symbol of each faction. Semi-Titans are not a replacement since the Titan Speaker Man is still alive, and so is G, the head of the skibidi toilets. That means they could end up being the equivalent of large-scale agents and could be produced in any quantity as long as each faction's production capacity allows it. But it's not impossible that Boom will still put a limit of 1 for story purposes. In episode 80, the story gates will open before us once again, but what could be hidden behind them? According to Boom's answers, the 80th episodes will be dedicated to G and the Duchess. It makes sense to assume that we'll learn more details connected to them. The reasons behind G's betrayal, the fate of his child, and the Duchess's role in all this, who didn't just arrive in person to deal with G without reason. Then it becomes clear that we will soon see the agentess again. But how soon? It's possible that we've already seen her quite recently, disguised as a suspiciously out-of-place evacuating chair, along with all the staff and equipment of the Cameraman base. It's also known that the agentess will play an important role in future episodes. I'd guess she might start acting in episode 81, when we'll finally be introduced to the PC men. They probably also possess green energy and are part of a secret squad, which explains why they're staying hidden from everyone's eyes. As for G, we'll either see him in the second part or the full version of episode 79, judging by the answer about story details, or in episode 80, based on the statement that he will play an important role in the 80s episodes. G-Man, even without any secret weapon, is capable of holding his own against the Astro, as we could see from his fight with the Juggernaut, someone even the Titan TV man, though already damaged, lost too. EBO also asked about the size of a character who is supposed to return. Honestly, I can't say for sure which episode he's talking about, since the questions weren't tied to one specific episode. I'd assume EBO is referring to another old answer from Boom, since he was asking about another similar one. From that answer, it's obvious that in the near future, meaning in episode 80, we should expect the return of Titan Speaker Man 3.0. Since episode 79 leads us to it, it's logical that the Titan will try to prevent the Astro from destroying the Cameraman base, as well as attempt to free the Titan TV man from the parasite. Logically, in that case, we'll also see the Speakerman base in episode 80. The long-promised official character sizes will be revealed when Boom has the free time and desire for it. The problem is, he doesn't have either at the moment, since his time is spent on creating episodes and resting from creating episodes. And there's no real necessity for the size information for anyone, except maybe a small number of animators. For these reasons, it's worth expecting updates on this topic only when Boom gets more free time, meaning when he gathers a team capable of doing most of his work. Next, there's a question that got a vague answer, so I'll try to answer it myself. The question goes, how much time has passed since the skibidi toilets invaded? I think it's no more than a year. For example, take Simp's capture after episode 57 and his later rescue in episode 74. Since we saw the bodies of destroyed agents in the holding cell, he would have met the same fate if his captivity lasted months, let alone years. The same argument applies to Plungerman's body, which was destroyed back in episode 70, but brought back to the base chronologically after episode 74. Can you imagine that taking months? I can't. So between episodes, there are only small time skips, days, at most weeks. Will Boom add Latin American countries? The list is pretty long, so I'll name the most well-known ones: Mexico, Brazil, and Venezuela. I'm not a big geography expert, but this question is pretty expected, considering that EBO is a Spanish-speaking YouTuber, and Latin America has the largest population of Spanish speakers. Boom's answer, however, probably wouldn't have changed because of that. He just liked the comment. Let's start with the form in which they could even appear. It's unknown where the Speaker Men base and the third TV Men base are located, so in the future, we could see them in new regions. We might have already seen the cameramen advancing into the desert toward a skibidi base. And finally, in episode 77, we saw agents all over the world in the broadcast. So the show's plot doesn't set any real restrictions on the setting, especially after the Alliance implemented Astro's instant travel technology, the hyperdrive, which even the TV men now have. And now here's where it gets really hot. It was already kind of obvious, but it hadn't been officially confirmed until now. Boom confirmed that we'll see the Duke before episode 90. He could be the character mentioned in connection with G-Toilet, who will play an important role in the 80s episodes. However, it doesn't seem like the Juggernaut was talking about him as a character sent to Earth with a specific mission, since only the Astro Emperor could give such an order. I think the Juggernaut was actually talking about G-Man's child. This kind of concentration of the strongest characters promises us epic battles coming very soon. It also turned out that G isn't even afraid of the Duke, but there is one unrevealed thing that does scare him. The first thing that comes to mind is the fate of his child. Anyone in his position would be worried about it, as we've already seen in the case of the Juggernaut and his injured child. If the Astro really did send him to destroy G-Toilet to prove his loyalty, then they used him extremely inefficiently, since they could have simply forced G to surrender by threatening his child's life, but promising to spare it if he gave up. There are still 8 more questions waiting to be covered, so subscribe so you don't miss them, and share your thoughts in the comments. See you soon.